Hello everyone, another Wednesday, another Biz Chats. Biz Chats happens every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. We chat with expert guests, getting expert advice and guidance and best practices. Today we will be chatting about SEO for small businesses with Allan from Digital Instinct. I'm going to wait for him to join here, and then I'm going to give him a quick invite and we're going to get going. Allan, how are you?
Hey, good.
Perfect. So thanks for joining us today on Biz Chats. Like I was mentioning, Chats happens every Wednesday from 12 to 1 Eastern. We chat with expert guests such as yourself, and we talk about great things that small business owners should want to learn about. And today I think is a very important conversation, SEO for small businesses. It's always a hot topic. So I'd like to introduce Allan to everyone. Allan is the founder of Digital Instinct, and he is a SEO guru. So what else do you do at Digital Instinct?
Actually, I was the one that I ended up buying the company. The way it works is most of the time other companies resell my services.
Okay.
So what happened was I ended up, I do quite well, so I ended up saying, hey, let's cut the middleman out of the picture, and I decided to buy one of the companies that resold my services.
How awesome is that? And at BizOn, we have a platform where people can buy and sell businesses. That's a unique story. Thanks for sharing that. So let's get right into it. We have about 10 questions that I'm going to ask you. And I think out the gate, the first question seems pretty simple, but I think everyone would love to learn more about the exact definition. What is SEO?
Okay, well, the basic definition is search engine optimization. But what that really means is designing your website so that it will rank well on Google or any of the search engines. Pretty much all the search engines use the same rules. But the idea is not to necessarily game the search engines, but to follow the rules so well that you are liked and loved by Google. A lot of people think that it's about sneaking stuff in. It's not about that. It's about playing by the rules, and playing by the rules really, really well.
Got it. Okay. Now, how did you get started in SEO?
Actually, I got started in 1998.
Wow.
What happened was I started an online business, and I had sort of the misthought, I guess, of believing that if you could build a website at that time, millions of people would come to it and you become super famous and rich and all that kind of stuff. I realized very quickly that that doesn't work. You build a website and it just sits there and nothing happens. So what I did was I learned just by looking at other websites what they were doing, and looking at the search engines and seeing what was doing well and what wasn't doing well. And I had this one crazy skill of being able to see patterns. So I was able to figure out, sort of reverse engineer what the search engines used to decide what was at the top of the search engines and what was at the bottom. So I redesigned my sites, and I launched a different site in 1999. And within 3 months, just using my search engine optimization, where I optimized every single page of my site, it was featured on CNN News.
Oh, wow.
Better Homes and Gardens ranked it as one of the best of the web. It had roughly 3,000 unique visitors a day. So it became one of the top websites online for selling art. I was selling art at the time.
Oh, cool.
So, and it was all through just learning SEO and really seeing every page of my website as a new method and new means to get traffic into my website. So yeah, I just was driving huge amounts of traffic every day.
And I like what you said, because I think a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs have that misconception where okay, well, I have a website now, business is just going to happen. And I think, you know, well, I know that's just not the truth. Even for us at BizOn, right? We have an online marketplace. It's not like people are just automatically going to know about us. There's a lot of background work and a lot of hard work and strategies such as SEO or other, you know, means of promotion to get, you know, your users to know more about what you do and ultimately get more sales out of it. So that's great. So now from I guess a bird's eye view, or you could get as, you know, granular as you want to get with it, how does SEO actually work?
Okay, since the beginning of SEO, there was the first factor, which is called on-page SEO. When the search engines first started, they all looked at what words were used on a page. So if you use the keyword that people are searching for, then you'll rank for that keyword. So pretty much all English websites rank for the word the, and all those words, every site ranks for those. But you know, if you do a search on Google for the word the, you'll get like 20 billion results. Okay? So the idea is, well, you want to be at the top of that 20 billion. So what you do is on page, you have to reinforce that keyword. So Google wants to provide the best results to its users. So think of it this way. If you write an article where it's only talking about that one topic, for example, cats, and you know, you start the article talking about cats, the title of the article is cats, and the first paragraph, the first sentence talks about cats, and it talks about cats all the way through the article. Well, that will rank a lot better than an article that talks about cats and dogs, and then starts out talking about cats, but then finishes talking about dogs or something else. So the idea is you want to reinforce it, but naturally so. There used to be a concept called keyword density, where you would look at the number of times the keyword appeared on the page and compare that to the number of other words that appear on the page. And you divide the two and you get like a number of anywhere from 0 to 100%. 0 meaning that it doesn't appear at all, and 100% would be if you just repeated the word over and over and over again. Google used to like around 8%. However, and a lot of SEOs would always just focus on that 8% rule. Over time, Google kind of dialed that back because 8% sounds really strange when you read that high of a keyword density kind of page. It reads just really, really weird. So Google dialed it down, and they keep on changing what that optimal keyword density is. So what's a better method is just to write naturally. Have the word in your head, and just remember top, middle, bottom.
Yeah.
If you put it in those three areas, it's continuously talking about that topic. So that way it's going to do a little bit better. So that's the first factor, which is on page. And there's a lot more to on page. This is just sort of the very basic of on page. The other factor is the off page stuff, the link building. When the first search engines came about, they only looked at the on page. And then what happened was people would just literally write the keyword over and over and over again, and they'd rank at the top. And after a while, people started complaining that the search results were very bad, that it just wasn't very relevant, the stuff that was coming up at the top. So Google came along and said, let's change the whole way that we look at what ranks and what doesn't rank. And what they started looking at was the off-page factors like links. And the way you can think of a link is if one page, and you can click it and goes to some other page, that's a link. It can be an image, it could be like a button, it could be like a text link. Anything that brings you from one page to another page is a link. And what happened was Google, what it did was it looked at those links as recommendations to that page that you're going to. So the more links you had, the better you would rank.
And I'm assuming, like the content, the links had to have a certain I guess, level of quality to it, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
So the idea is this, that they came out with a concept called PageRank. And the way PageRank worked was if you have a site that has 0 links pointing to it, then it's a PageRank of 0. Okay, pretty simple.
Yeah.
If you have like a PageRank of 1, maybe 5 to 10 links are pointing to your website. Okay, so it's to your page. PageRank 2, maybe 100 links. PageRank 3, 1,000 links, and so forth as it goes up. So all pages are not created equal. So one link from a PageRank 5 page, that one link is much more valuable than a link coming from a PageRank 3 or 2 or 1. Okay?
Got it.
Each page has different values. So, for example, if you get one PageRank 9 link, which you could used to buy, you could actually buy those kind of links way back in the day. That one link, you could rank for any keyword you wanted just by getting that one link, because it would make your site a PageRank 9 or 8, usually.
Got it.
Okay, so just having that one link, and all of a sudden you would rank for everything. So a lot of SEOs would really take advantage of that, where they would basically try to find these high authority links to basically get leverage to get rankings. So if you have the on-page really good and you have these strong links, you can get very good rankings on Google.
And I think this jumps into the next question. Is this how businesses can get, the right consumers through that type of strategy with SEO?
Yeah, so if you think about it, the way it works is most sites get about 60% of their traffic from Google. Google is still the #1 site on the search on the web. So what happens is when people go onto Google, they type in keywords. They type in like, how do I sell my business? And they type that in, and whatever site comes at the top, they're most likely to click. So what you can do is you can find out what keywords people use by going into Google's AdWords tool, the keyword planner tool, it's called. If you go onto Google and type keyword planner, you can find that tool, and it basically will tell you how many people search what keywords.
Got it.
So you can find out exactly what people type in, and you'll find that they'll type in some keywords much more than others. So for example, how do I sell my business might get less searches than sell my business, or so forth. And what you do is you find what keywords work, what people are searching, and then you incorporate that into your website. Just like back to the cats example, where you kind of put it throughout your website to reinforce that keyword. Okay, and by doing so, you can get those clicks, you can get that traffic.
Got it. And then obviously, ultimately, as a business, that traffic you're looking to monetize, obviously, right?
Yes.
And that's the trick right there.
Yeah, and what people don't realize is if you actually write in that style, that you're writing based on the words that people use, you actually, not only are you going to be driving more people through the search, through the clicks, but you're actually going to speak in the language people are expecting.
Exactly.
And people don't get that, but it's really important, because what happens is when you come into a website and it's speaking in the language that you're thinking, you're much more likely to convert, because they're talking to you. They seem to understand you. So,
there's a connection.
Yeah, there's a connection, and it just works better. So it works better for the search engines, but it also works better for the users. And it's very important to understand.
Makes sense. Well, that brings us halfway. And just, for everyone tuning in live or even on a recorded version that'll be available next week, this segment is sponsored by Digital Instinct, which is Allan's company. And when we're done here, make sure you go check out his website, digitalinstinct.ca. With the next question, what are some of the changes that you're seeing happening from Google or at Google?
So a couple of the changes, Google wants to make money, and that's sort of basic for any company. And one of the things that they're doing is they're making the actual search results lower and lower on the page. So what happens is they have the ads at the very top, but then underneath the ads, they have the map listings. And then they have the organic listings. The organic are the natural search results that appear based on how well you've optimized your website. So you have those three levels. The first level being the ads, which are usually 2 or 3 at the top. Then it's the what's called the map, or where the map or business Google business listings are.
Yeah.
And then you have the organic. Well, what happens is if you're now, it used to be that most people were on desktop. Well, what's happening now is because everyone's using cell phones to communicate and to search, now 60% of all searches happen via mobile devices. So what's happening is those ads take up almost most of the screen, and just a bit of the map appears when you search on Google through your cell phone. So all of a sudden, those organic listings are pushed really far down. So most people will skip over the ads. Only about 15 to 20% of people will actually click on the ads. But still, what happens is that map becomes even more important. So getting ranked on Google Business is becoming extremely important nowadays.
And why do you think, just a side question, why do you think people, almost 80% of people just skip over those paid ads and go straight to those organic searches?
People, over time, people have become aware that those are ads. And there's always the belief that an ad is only somewhat credible.
Got it. Okay.
Because you know that they're paying for it. It's not that Google has recommended that that's a good site. It's just that they're paying for it. So generally, it's not considered as quality a result.
Got it.
Google actually does things within its algorithm to try to make those ads as high quality as possible, but still, people generally prefer to click on the organic. So
makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, next question I have here. So with that said, mobile coming into effect, and I guess the search patterns of consumers generally are changing a bit, compared to say 5 or 10 years ago. Which do you think is truly better for business, social media or SEO?
Both have their merits, and both can work very effectively, and they both work together. So with social media, you can get very quick results. Generally, what you can do is if you can send out a message to an audience, you can engage with a huge audience very, very quickly. If you design the message very, very well. And there's ways of doing that where you can take, like I've taken Twitter accounts, for example, which literally had 0 followers, and I was able to engage hundreds of thousands of people. And just with one message, just to, by tailoring the hashtags correctly, I could quickly get a message out there. But you have to really tailor it, and it can be very challenging. So social media can really work for that kind of immediate reaction or immediate getting of traffic. However, SEO is much more of a long-term strategy where you sort of plan things out in advance. Like if you want something today, you should have planned it out 4 months ago.
Got it.
Where you're sort of thinking ahead, and what happens is SEO generally creates sort of constant traffic that can improve over time as you add more pages, as you improve the optimization. So it's a different, one's more immediate, one's more long-term strategy.
Got it. Now, and sorry to cut you off, Allan, but I do have kind of a follow-up question to that, because I guess I read a report by Global Web Index, and they were stating that, and I just want your general comment on this, I guess. They're saying that they're seeing more and more consumers turning to social media to search for products and services. So currently, I think they stated about 58% are leveraging, search engines such as Google, and now about 30% are leveraging social media to actually search for products and services, and they're noticing a drastic increase in that for social media. What's your general comments? Is this a surprise to you, or is this something that you see happening over time? And how do you adjust?
So actually, to even add to that, North America, believe it or not, is very far behind the rest of the world. If you look at places like, I do a lot of business in the Philippines, and what they'll do is they won't use telephones or cell phones the way we use them. What they'll do is they'll use they'll connect to Facebook, and they'll actually connect to companies via Facebook, where instead of like calling the person, they'll actually call the company via their Facebook page. They'll connect that way, because that way they don't have to use their data,
sure,
their minutes that they have. So a lot of other countries will use social media as a means of connecting, much more so than cell phones, or like it's a different way of connecting that they'll do it. They'll go to a hotspot and then just connect to social media, and then connect to whatever companies that they want. So there is that move, but Google is such a strong player. There was 1 month where Facebook overpassed Google in terms of being the #1 site that people were visiting, and that was several years ago. It has never been able to repeat that, and it's because Google is just so controlling of the web. It does everything it can to be the gateway to the web. And as long as they can maintain that, and I believe that they will.
You believe they will? Okay.
Yeah. There will always be a battle between social media and SEO and traditional SEO.
Now, do you think, and this is a great follow-up question, do you think social media and SEO can work together? Do they complement each other? Is that like the right strategy for that small business owner listening in right now?
So one of the tricks that I was mentioning was to get links, right? Mm-hmm. Well, links, social media actually can give you links. When you one of the reasons I got into Twitter was every time I tweeted out something on Twitter, I noticed that immediately whatever link I tweeted out to my blog or whatever, not only did it get thousands of clicks, but it also got instantly ranked on Google.
Oh, okay.
So Google is looking at social media as another source for authority.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Saying that these social links they're called social signals, are another metric that they can use to determine whether a site is good or bad. So if you have a lot of retweets or a lot of that activity on social media, Google actually use that as a ranking system. Another thing is they have their own social platform, Google Plus, which is not very popular.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But that Google Plus, if you remember how I said the maps are very important?
Yes.
Well, if you start posting out on Google Plus, your map ranking will just skyrocket.
Got it.
I had one client that didn't really do anything properly, but they did do that properly. And they never ranked organically, but they ranked on the map, and it didn't matter. So they were able to get a huge amount of traffic just through dominating Google Plus.
Got it.
It impacts your business ranking.
Okay. Now, I guess the last question here, and you touched on it a little bit, but how important is blogging?
So the example I always give is, did you ever want to win the lottery?
Did I ever want to?
Yeah. So you can
sure,
win,
why not?
Yeah, you can actually win any lottery you want. And the way you win any lottery is you buy all the lottery tickets.
Okay.
Very simple.
But buying all the lottery tickets, assuming there's a winning ticket.
Yeah. So the point is, the same works with search. Think of the grand prize as getting traffic to your website. Well, each combination allows you to get a little bit of traffic, okay? Because each keyword will have a certain number of searches for it. So the way I see a blog is like buying lottery tickets.
Okay.
Each blog article, I target a new keyword. I write only about that one keyword, and that becomes another winning ticket for me to drive people into my website.
Got
and
it.
The more of those pages I create, the more and more traffic that I can get.
Now,
I have some. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say quickly. I have one page that's like 6 years old, and it still drives a few hundred visitors to my site every day.
Okay.
And
now, I have a question for that for that small business owner or entrepreneur that doesn't have, I guess, a unique blog domain. They're leveraging something like WordPress. Does that matter?
No.
Like for example, does it matter that say someone has company name /blog, so companyname.com/blog versus company name.wordpress.com? Does that matter, or does the content matter?
So you don't want to use WordPress.com. You want to have whatever blog you create it within your own website.
Okay.
Because the goal is to build up your website. You're not trying to build up WordPress. You're trying to build up your own website. What you do is when you create those pages within your website, you want to create the URL to that page using the keywords within the URL. So It's going to be like mybizon.com / how do I sell my business, all hyphenated.
Sure.
So yeah, that's much more effective, and that can really rank well.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate this. That brings us to the end. But like how I end all my biz chats, I do a rapid fire question, 3 questions. Just answer them off the top of your head. So one is, what is the last song you listened to?
12 Days of Christmas.
Okay. Makes sense. What was the last movie you watched?
Star Wars.
No, the new one?
Yeah.
How was it?
Very so-so. Very disappointing.
No comment. Okay. And then the last one is, what was the last book you read?
Last book I read. I'm trying to think of the last book I read. I almost have to just look at my bookshelf. Yeah, I read a book. Actually, I sped read this book. I read this book in 15 minutes. So it's not a really, it's a short book. Like, it's only a few hundred pages. Yeah, it's called Connect. It's about some of the issues with how businesses connect with their audiences that visit their websites.
Makes sense for what you do?
Yeah, it makes sense for what I do. It's an okay book. It gives like basic stuff.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you for everyone that listened in. Once again, thank you to Digital Instinct for making this all come together. Once again, go check out their website to learn more about what they do. Also, like I always mention, this segment is recorded and will be uploaded to Bizon's YouTube channel shortly. So if you didn't have time to listen in live, you can listen into the recorded version. And make sure to check us out next Wednesday again. We'll have another expert guest talking about, giving great insights and advice on business and franchises. And my plug, as usual, if you're interested in buying or selling a business or franchise, check out mybizon.com. Thank you, Allan. Have a great week, and we will be in touch.
Okay, thank you. Thanks
Allan.
me.
Okay, bye.